Hi, it's Miss Sandra. I started out wearing my mask just so that you guys would know that I do practice safe distancing with my co-worker, Deanna. But I had to take it off so that I could read this book to you guys. So today I'm reading All About Birds, and the author's name is Cathryn Sill. Cathryn Sill. All the birds on my backdrop? I did that just for you. Okay, All About Birds. And remember, you could come to the library and check this book out. Birds have feathers. We all knew that, didn't we? It's a beautiful red bird. Baby birds hatch from eggs. Can you see those eggs there in the nest? Some birds build nests on the ground. There's a nest, and it's on the ground, surrounded by leaves. Some build in very high places. That's a pretty tall tree there with that nest. And some do not build a nest at all. Birds travel in different ways. That would be really cool, I think. You, me, all of our friends flying together. Most birds fly. This bird is flapping its wings, so you can hardly tell that those are wings. And it's blending in with that tree. Same colors. That's a hummingbird. But some swim. This is a wood duck. And others run. That's a greater roadrunner. Birds may flock together. That's a red-winged blackbird. Or live alone. There's just one up in that tree. That's called a great horned owl. Birds use their bills to gather food. So how many birds do we have there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different birds. And they're showing their bills, and all of them have food in their bills. They sing to let other birds know how they feel. This is called an Indigo Bunting. See that blue one all the way back there? Pretty color blue. Birds come in all sizes. There are a lot of birds on this page, all different sizes and colors. Looks a lot like my backdrop up there. Birds are important to us. And that's the end. that's the end. Again, I read to you all about birds. The author's name is Cathryn Sill. And here's...
Okay. Hello, this is Mr. Andrew with the Montgomery City County Public Library. We're here at the Montgomery Zoo with our keeper, Mr. Colin. And we're going to be talking today about all the different birds we have here at the zoo. We're here in which section of the zoo right now?
Right now we're in the South American Aviary, which is right inside the front gate. It's one of the first things you see when you come into the zoo. And really you can't miss it because it's just this big old dome right here. Plus all the red-winged blackbirds that like to come in, and they're actually native birds. They don't necessarily belong here. They like to come in here anyway, but they're really, really noisy and they tell you exactly where to go as soon as you get into the zoo.
Okay, so what all species, what different kinds of birds does the zoo have?
Oh man, we have a ton of different species here. The most notable ones we have are the macaws that actually live right over there. We have several different species of macaws. Some of them are blue and golds. We also have a hyacinth macaw. We have military macaw. And we don't have scarlet anymore, do we?
Oh, no.
No, okay. But we have several different species of birds here, but the ones you can see right back there that are some of the brightest colored ones are the Scarlet Ibis. Now a lot of people, when they come to the zoo and they see these guys right there, they think they're miniature flamingos. And while they do have a very similar appearance, they get that almost reddish pinkish coloration from the same way that the flamingos do, they're not very closely related. But they do get that coloration because of their diet. So they have a diet that's heavy in what's called carotenoids, and that helps their feathers turn that bright pink and bright red color, similar to how flamingos do it as well.
So you said this is a South American bird. Do we have any other different bird exhibits in the zoo?
Yes, we have several. We have, well, my favorite one is actually the African Aviary. The African Aviary, unfortunately, guests can't walk into, but the reason we can't have guests walking in there is because there are also antelope in there. They're teeny tiny antelope called blue duiker, and they're only about that tall. They're one of the smallest species of antelope in the world. We also have a couple parrots over there. We have the African gray parrot, and we also have a Patagonian conure, which, if you know your mountain ranges, the Patagonians are found in South America. And the reason there's a South American parrot in the African Aviary is because she and the African gray parrot were actually a bonded pair. They have an emotional bond together, and so once the African gray parrot moved over there, they didn't want them to have any sort of emotional distress, so they decided to move them over there together.
Awesome. So what do the different birds here at the zoo eat?
So all of our birds have very specialized diets for themselves. I touched a little bit on the ibises. They're getting a diet that's kind of heavy in carotenoids, so they're going to have a lot of shrimp-based things in their diet. But we also have some herbivorous birds, like our Guinea Fowl really like to pick apart greens. They do like little tiny insects as well, but for the most part they like to pick apart greens and grasses, stuff like that. We have our ostrich. They're going to be eating a lot of grains and grasses as well. But we have birds like the condors, which live right over there, and they are fully carnivorous. So they actually will eat a lot of dead and decaying things, similar to vultures. They're very closely related to vultures, so they like a lot of meats. Now we also have two bald eagles here, and they're going to be eating a lot of meat as well.
Okay, cool. Do any of the birds around here have names?
Yes, not in this section. There's just a lot of them to keep track of, and even from this far back, you can't really tell a whole lot of the ibises apart. That being said, they do have these little leg bands that we have on them that are numbered, and that helps us keep track of them for like veterinary procedures and stuff like that.
Do any of the others in the other sections have names?
Yes, so both of our bald eagles have names. Their names are Athena and Louise. Our ostriches have names. They are Heidi and Giselle because they're nice and tall, so they named them after some models. And our parrots, the parrots in the African Aviary also have names. Their names are Gwen. I like to call her Spider Gwen because she likes to walk around with her feet just in the top of the caging. And we have Patricia, the Patagonian conure.
Okay. Let's see. Do the birds around here, do any of them do any having training to do anything or do any tricks or anything like that with you guys?
So the majority of our parrots do. A lot of them are hand trained. So like the macaws, the parrots over in the African aviary, they're hand trained, so that it gets them a lot more comfortable with us, and it makes it a lot easier for our vet staff to work with them as well. We don't do anything that would be generally considered tricks with our animals, because that doesn't necessarily have a benefit toward a relationship with us and them, or even our vet staff and them.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else about all the different birds here at the zoo that you want to share?
Gosh, well, always be on the lookout for babies.
Okay.
So birds, especially in aviaries like these, they always love nesting. In fact, if you go over to the Africa aviary, you can see our two hammerkop. They will build a nest out of just about anything. So you see these big mounds on top of these tent-like things over there. They're building their nests in there constantly.
Okay.
And also, if you go over to the Africa section and you happen to see the ostriches, just laying down, chances are they're trying to lay an egg. Because even though we do have two females, they will still lay eggs regularly.
Okay.
And their eggs are huge. They're about the size of my head, and I have a pretty big head. But the ostrich egg actually holds about the same amount of egg in it as close to 24 chicken eggs. So if you get to see those out there, it's really, really special.
Very cool. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
this interview today. We'll see you guys next week.